Hello, my angels. Hello, beloveds. It's so wonderful to see you. Show me sparkly fingers. My regular peeps know what sparkly fingers are. Hi, my name is Alisha Doss, and I am beyond delighted to be with you today. Thank you for joining on this Saturday to be touched by an angel and to realize that angel might be right within yourself. So if you would just share in the chat where you're from and just a few words about what you'd like to receive today. It helps to set your intention. So I'm seeing London and Japan and Pittsburgh and Riverside and West Palm Beach, Michigan, Texas, Washington, and oh my goodness, Seattle, Ohio. So much love. We have such a beautiful international crowd here. Palmdale and Edmonton, Canada. Light to the fires there. Blessings from Topanga and much love and light sent to all of you. Philadelphia. Intention is to fully discover my angels. I feel them. I think you're going to be feeling not only angels today, but again, your own angelic nature. So, can you hear? If you can see me and hear me just fine, show me sparkly fingers. So, sparkly fingers are obviously super fun to look at everybody, and then you can be like creative with your sparkly fingers. They also clear your aura because what it does is it creates a frequency and a bit of an agitation in your aura to just clear anything that's no longer needed. So good. Sounds like we can hear each other, we can see each other. So we are in for such a gorgeous day, not only hearing from myself and meditations and activations and truly being touched by an angel, but also we're going to hear from Sonia Choquette, Robert Holden, Andrew Harvey, and Marie Diamond. So they're going to all share about angels. Things they don't all share about angels all that much, and that is completely what they're sharing about today. So, my beloveds, being human it's not easy. That's why even the angels bend a knee to you. And those are the first words of my book. My hope is that you really feel how much you are loved. You are each so loved by the angels. And I want you to really know that and experience that today. You are never, ever alone. And I wrote this book for you. I want you to take that very, very personally. I wrote this book for you very specifically. So, my loves, again, I'm Dr. Alisha Doss. For over 3 decades, I've been a spiritual teacher, angel expert, ordained minister, and now the author of Your Angelic Ancestry with Hay House. And it's such a privilege to be with you today. So we're going to start with an invocation, an activation into the angelic, and then we're going to be receiving angels on all different levels, especially so when you're in your life, it's just instant for you. It's immediate. So I want you to just open your heart, and if it's safe, close your eyes. Obviously, if you're driving, please don't. But if it's safe, close your eyes, open your heart, and just reach up into the light. As you exhale, let everything go with some sound. I want to hear you. I know you're muted, but I want to hear you. Deep breath in, breathe in love and light. Exhale, let it all go with some sound. Shake your hands, move your head. Just let it all go. And now breathe in love and light and just discover how your hands want to move in front of you. This is called a mudra, to clear your aura and to receive in a greater way of the light. As we open into the light of the Holy Spirit, keep breathing in love. Keep letting go of anything less than love. Breathing in light. All through your beingness, see that light. All through your mind, your emotions, your unconscious, every cell of your body. Exhale and let go. Anything less than light. Breathing in love and light and letting go of less as we open into the light of the Holy Spirit. Coming fully present with our breath into this moment. On the count of 3, we're going to breathe in as one. I want you to feel everyone here and all the angels breathing in with you. 1, 2, into the collective love. 3, breathe in love. Everyone breathing in love. As you exhale, that love just amplifies. as we open into the light of the whole and Holy Spirit. Feel that joy as the light enters in, touching just the place it knows you need touched. Entering into the light of the Christ, the light of love, by whatever name you know the divine, higher power, God, spirit, universe. Call yourself forward into that now. Open to miracles, beloved. Angels are the arbiters of miracles, but you need to be open to receive. Just open to receive of love and light in every way. And we just place this gathering, each of us present, each one to listen to the archive, of course, all those invisible hosts with us, all into the light of the Holy Spirit for the highest good, sending this beautiful light out to our planet at this time. May you be blessed beyond measure. May you be open to miracles and magic this day. May you receive this angelic activation and know you walk the consecrated earth as God's own emissary. And so be it. Blessed be. Amen. And Berush B'Shem. So, my angels, I want you to just notice if you feel just a little bit lighter right now. If you feel just a little bit lighter. I'm going to read a little bit from my book for you. This is the prologue. I want you to really receive this because this is for you very, very specifically. A message to the reader from Archangel Michael. This book is a metamorphosis of consciousness, an ascension of awareness. All that is asked is your openness. Let the words meander like a stream beside you. Sit in the embrace of the wild, marveling in wonder and awe. Allow this message to suffuse you as effortlessly as nature's serenity does. We great archangels witness the trials you endure. Beyond the clamor of thought, the depths of heartache, and the unseen scars you bear, we stand ready to lift you aloft. With your permission, we shall pave a path from your petitions to providence, so you may know God intimately and feel God inherently. Persist to the final page, and you will be changed. Persist to the final page, and you will be changed. Long ago, this was inscribed in the hearts of you who are destined to partake. This action is both venerable and yet unborn, for it weaves the past into the yet to come, folding time upon itself. Gaze through seraphic eyes into eternity and infinity as celestial beings do, serving the divine design within time and space, but not bound by either. The divine has conveyed us to you, courageous humans, that you may unfurl the wings of your illumination and soar, elevating another in your ascent. Then they in kind shall uplift the next until a crescendo of grace resounds across the planet. Thus each is anointed by this blessing that echoes through the collective soul of love. That is for you, and that is why I wrote this book. So I'm going to briefly share about my own angelic awakening in the hopes that you will discover your story rising right along beside it. So I started hearing the language of the angels when I was 4 years old, when I was suffering a very extreme trauma for about a year. But what I remember is these monolithic beings of silver and white light standing over me, keeping me whole until I could later work to resolve the trauma, the karma. So if you have things that you're working on that haven't released, call upon the angels. They will accentuate and expedite your healing. That's been my experience. So, but then I started, through this angelic language, it started revealing a lot of things to me. And in rural Indiana in that time, when you start walking around and telling people things about them that you can't possibly know, That does not go over well. So I shut down my site and just show me who can relate to just to playing a little small, to kind of shutting down your site and going, oh, I can't share everything because it's going to scare somebody. Anybody sparkly fingers? Right? I got to play a little small, can't threaten anybody, got to be loyal to the family, right? Yeah, I see some raised hands. So that's what I did, especially as a child. And until, and this is something I'm not told in public that I remember, certainly not with a gathering like this, until I had an extraterrestrial experience. And I see some surprised faces because many of you don't know that. I was around 9 or 10. And, like I mentioned, I had a very chaotic childhood. And I looked out my window. I woke up in the middle of the night and walked to my window, and I saw the most beautiful craft with these circumnavigated lights around them. And they spoke to me. They didn't take me anywhere. They came to my window, these gorgeous golden brown eyes. And they said, open up your sight, but don't tell anybody. And I begged them to take me with them because they were so beautiful. And they said, no, you have work to do here with the angels. Look to the stars and remember. And I heard the most beautiful humming from this craft, and it sent me into ecstasy. The craft lifted up, and I never heard that humming again until I wrote this book. And I realized the Tuan, which is this Christed orb in the middle of the planet, there's a humming with it. And it connects you, and that's in my book, it connects you to angels, to other magical beings, to positive extraterrestrials, to the higher realms right within the earth. And that there's a humming with it, and it's the same humming that I heard in that craft. So I say this to you because you are being held by so many beautiful beings, and we are safe. So I hung out with angels, talked to them until I was about 18, 19, left home. But I didn't tell anybody until I left home. Then I started telling, you meet people where you are. I was in the deep South, so I still had to be a little bit filtered. But at 20, I was living in a sorority house by myself because it was summer, and I was grievously ill, had 105 fever, so I was deliriously sick, and I was sleeping that sleep, you sleep when you're really sick, where I was just dead to the world. And they woke me up, and an angelic voice said, get out, get out, get out, drive home. And I'm like, drive home? I will crash the car. Home was 2 hours away in Tennessee. Get up, drive home, drive home. I stumbled to my car, didn't take a single thing with me, got in my car, shakily started driving out, and behind me the house exploded in an electrical fire and burned to the ground in 2 hours. I would have been in that house. I would have been in my bed. That was the first time the angels saved me. It's been far from the last. I think my guardian angel has like bloodshot eyes and is like, dang, I'm going to need a double shot of ambrosia after this shift. I think some of you might be able to relate, right? So we do have guardian angels and they do save us. So, and then at around 24, I entered my first and my last angelic workshop. I have facilitated several hundred since then, but that was the first and the last one I attended that was facilitated by somebody else. I heard my angelic name, which you're going to hear yours when you read the book. I heard my angelic name, and when I did, and I shared it out loud, which I do encourage you not to share yours out loud, but this had a purpose for me. I shared it out loud, and the whole room dropped away, and I entered this portal of about 1 million angels and the great archangels and the language, the angelic language. Then I completely started hearing it again. And I was forever changed. I'd been an actress and a model, and that was the only way I knew how to make a living, and I just couldn't go back to that. I knew my life's work was now with the angels. So I did start working with people. I became an ordained minister. And when the wait list got too long, I just started charging and then started doing groups, started facilitating classes with my husband, Michael, and spoke a lot about the angelic. But about 10 years ago, there was another level. It was this level. It was telling people, you are an archangel in the flesh. I promise I'm going to explain that. It'll make a lot more sense. I've been doing a lot of TV shows and radio shows and that kind of thing. And I'm saying this, like, you are an archangel, you're an archangel in the flesh. And I'm fully expecting, like, the hook where the hook just pulls you off stage, right? I'm fully expecting the hook to pull me off stage. And yet people are saying, when I explain it to them, which I am going to in a few moments, that makes sense. No, that actually really makes sense. That explains a lot of things. And I'm like, really? It makes sense? Because I thought I was just weird. And they're like, well, you are weird. But no, that makes sense. And so there is great truth to this. And it's something I've vetted over many decades. So, and I will tell you briefly, about 10 years ago, when I wasn't ready to share this, I was afraid. I think who can relate to, like, I've got a truth inside of me that's bigger than I'm telling, and I'm nervous about sharing it. Sparkly fingers, anybody? Yeah, I see some familiar faces. So that was my situation, and they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I was diagnosed with very aggressive cancer, and I knew I had created why I had created it. And it's a much longer story. It's all in the book of the many miracles that occurred. But basically, the angels healed me. And no allopathic intervention, no chemo, etc. They healed me of cancer. I had to believe, and it took me a couple months to really believe that they could heal me and then the cancer would leave my body. And once I did, it did, and they did. Now, that healing is not because I'm special, because I'm not special. Sometimes I cannot even heal a head cold. True story. That healing from cancer was so that I knew the healing power of the angels beyond a shadow of a doubt. And even more, and this is how it's relevant to you, it is because I said yes. I said yes. I went to see the practitioner of the Dalai Lama, and he said, what would it take to fully fulfill your spiritual calling of bridging the human and the angelic? I said, I would need to write the book. Here it is. I would need to fully share the truth, and I would need to teach classes and be one of the bridges of the human and the angelic realms. And he said, and will you? And then he disappeared in light. And when I said yes, my body rose and fell off the mat. And again, much longer story, but I was healed. So it's the power of saying yes, of yes to your destiny, of yes to your calling. So, and the last time, probably won't be the last, but the most recent time the angels saved me was I'm sitting here in Pacific Palisades. You probably heard of the Palisades fire. And this fire started a few thousand feet from my front door. I live on a mountain, one way in and out. And the only other exit, the one way in and out, was blocked by 100 cars. So again, a lot of miracles occurred. I got out, but my home, I said to the angels, please, I worked my whole life to buy this home. Please keep it safe. And they said to me, and this is when the fires were still burning, I was in my third or fourth place. They said to me, you didn't write the book you wanted to write. You wrote the book you were born to write. We will keep it safe. And they showed me this heart, this teardrop shape, white teardrop shape. And when the fire was all out, the fire map was red, meaning burned to the ground, with one white teardrop shape. And my home is in that shape. They didn't save my home because I'm special. They saved it because you are special, because this book was in it. And if my home had burned to the ground, this wouldn't have been released for a couple more years. And it needed to be released now at this pivotal time. So to talk to us about how we can each be conduits of light at this pivotal time, I'd like to introduce you to one of my dear friends, Sonia Choquette. Most of you have heard of Sonia Choquette. She's a global teacher, New York Times bestselling author of 27 books. So let's hear from Sonia, and then we'll be right back. Hello and welcome to the incredible, beautiful, mystical, and magical Sonia Choquette. Welcome, Sonia.
Thank you, Alisha. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I am beyond happy to have you. Sonia is a world-renowned spiritual teacher, intuitive guide, and New York Times best-selling author of 27 books, including Ask Your Guides, translated into 37 languages. For more than 50 years, she has helped hundreds of thousands of people awaken their intuition and connect with their angels, guides, and divine support system. My book, Your Angelic Ancestry, I talk about the realms are open, the angelic and human realms, to each other in a way they never have before. We're in a pivotal time. I would love to hear you share with our listeners a little bit about the positivity. I know that the cauldron of humanity is stirred and there's a lot of challenge, but there's also more light. And you have been doing this for 50 years and just opened your first school. What is the optimism for our time?
Well, anybody who is alive on this planet with any degree of awareness can feel that it's been a very unsettled time for about 7 or 8 years. And it is disruptive, but the good news is the energetic grid of perception has been really entrenched and focused on the power and control of outside forces. There's been a lot of oppression to listen to the inner senses or to have any divine experience. And the irony is that because the world has become so unpredictable and unfamiliar in so many ways, and so many things promised that would take care of us have collapsed, it has activated our inner senses. It has reconnected us to our divine nature. It has opened the door to our liberation from victimhood and restored our perceptions that we are divine co-creators. We are divine beings. Right now, we're kind of in the mix. Half the people are still coming, what I call coming online, or are coming on board with this inner sense, but we affect one another energetically. So the more of humans that are starting to wake up to their intuition, to their angels, to their divine guides, their inner experiences, it will trigger, and it is triggering the activation of others. And I think that what to me is hopeful is if we didn't have all this disruption,
Mhm.
I'm confident that we would not be collectively identifying beyond the mere immediate physical like we are. It, it's
Yeah.
it's absolutely inviting us to investigate further, because it's turning on our inner senses that says, I know, and not an intellectual, informational left brain know. I cellularly, energetically, soulfully know that I am more than just this body. I know more than what information is given to me from the outside. I know in an energetic way, like it's part of me. And that's what's waking up now. And I'm very hopeful, because the more we wake up, a couple of things that are causing a lot of problems now will stop.
Yeah.
We will stop disrespecting the earth because we know we're connected. We will stop seeing otherizing people
Mm-hmm.
that share
Exactly.
the same breath. We'll start polarizing, and we'll stop.
Yeah.
We'll stop the fear and isolation, because we'll feel and have the experience of being connected and supported. And those are the things creating all the problems.
You say that so well, and that's the beautiful thing about angels and the coming together of the realms, because angels are in a collective. They
Mhm.
don't have individual souls until they're an archangel, and that's why I say we're archangels in the flesh, because we do have individual souls, we do have free will, but we still have those roots as an angel of being in a collective, and we are, of course, moving towards we are one. They're born in the collective, and they move to individuation. We're
This,
born in individuation and move to collective. So
which is why your message is so timely. Your message is so a mirror of the divine transformation that is going on, and it's perfect timing,
thank
because
you.
not only can they read it, but they can feel it.
Yes. I want to return for a moment to you recently on YouTube. You shared this beautiful video where you talked about angels and the wounded healer era is over. Is over, and that angels are bringing us into this you're not broken, come forward. And that's a big point of my book is there's nothing wrong with you. You're not overly sensitive. It's okay that this world doesn't feel like your home always. Come forward into your shining self, come forward into your angelic self. So talk to us a little bit more, because that title is disruptive, and I love it. The wounded healer era is over. Tell us more about that.
Well, for a long time, a conscious, aware, sensitive people who could feel the unspoken wounds of the soul
Mm-hmm.
and still are called to do healing work, energy work, Reiki, prayer work, many, many, many elements of this kind of work. But a lot of what they were looking for was to be acknowledged and reciprocal, kind of mirrored by the the wounded.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you were having a heart attack and you go to the hospital and the doctor giving you CPR is saying, "Do you like me? Do you love me? Am I okay?" It's like, like we can't, that's the wounded healer.
Right.
And fortunately, as we're moving away from that and starting to recover a sense of self-esteem and of personal value and a sense of our wholeness, which translates into holiness,
Mm.
us not looking for false gods, not looking for our validation from others.
Mm-hmm.
That allows us to be healers who come from a place of giving to give rather giving to get.
Yes. Yes.
It basically ends things like codependency and ends things like creating people needing you too long and perpetuating dependencies of that nature, and really letting everybody come back into a sense of, like you said, I'm whole and complete. I'm not broken. My
Mm-hmm.
sensitivity and my intuition and my heightened awareness is a superpower. It's not a liability. And I'm not too much.
I want to return before we close, and I would love to, spoiler alert, close with a blessing. Um, so I want to just return. You said something that was so profound that the other dimension is not a place. I think people think of heaven as a place, or the angelic realm as a place, or the higher realms as a place. And really, it's a perception, it's awareness, it's enhancing our awareness. Rather than, I don't even think angels have, of course, they don't have physical wings, but I think the wings are really an ability to travel through the realms of perception.
Our soul expansion is just being informed in a much broader, more accurate way. And also, I'm so excited for your new book. I really am, because it's really supports the foundation and the change that people need to
Mm.
actually let themselves heal, feel like they belong, feel supported and not alone. And it gives everyone a more accurate identity. It's like if your whole life you're told you're one thing and it's all wrong, then it's like there's a Chinese saying from the Book of Changes, the I Ching, if the beginning is wrong, the ending is wrong. And your book addresses correcting the beginning.
Ooh, what a great analogy. Thank you. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. I would love to close this conversation with a blessing for those who are listening, for our planet. Would you participate with me in that?
Sure.
Awesome. Would you prefer to start it or to close it?
You start it
Okay.
and I'll close it.
Okay. All right, beautiful. So if you're in a place to gently close your physical eyes and open your spiritual eyes, please do. And if you can't close your eyes, just know you're as much with us, and open your heart, each of us, as we connect heart to heart in that collective that Sonia shared about, in that collective that you were born into as an angel, for you evolved to individual souls. And now we come full circle. So just experience yourself connecting heart to heart with each one on this beautiful call, each one to listen later. And know that not only are you connected to each one in this beautiful golden web, but also to angels, to archangels, to the divine, from within you, filling every cell of your body with golden light. Take a deep breath in and breathe in love, all the love of the universe. Just let go and exhale anything less than love. And now just place your hands on your heart chakra and breathe in love and light. Light of the Holy Spirit, the light of grace. Through all of your beingness, touching into your soul, into your spirit, and even beyond. Expanding infinitely, beyond time, beyond space. As the truth of love, this, beloved, is who you are. Lover, beloved, love itself. And may you know this in this moment of shared intention, and that love might radiate out to our planet and beyond, bringing peace, bringing harmony, bringing illumination, and most of all, love.
And I would like to add that let us create the space to expand our frequency to match the blessings of our angelic self, to match the expression of our angelic self by asking our angels to remove from us ideas, beliefs, patterns, habits, cords, and agreements that keep us trapped in an identity that is not our true nature. We don't need the plan. We don't need the courage. We don't need to figure it out. We just need to be willing to let go. So let us this day collectively let go, hand it over, and allow our divine nature to naturally take over. And so it is. And amen.
So it is, and amen. Thank you so much, my beautiful Sonia. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And may your book reach every corner of the world, and may everybody realize who they are through your book. It makes it a better place for all of us.
Okay, my beloveds. So thank you so much to Sonia Choquette for that. So let's talk more about angels. Then we're going to do, spoiler alert, a meditation for you to experience a great archangel. So why angels at all? What are angels? So we're going to show you a few screens. So angels are living emissaries and messengers of the divine. They are extrusions from God. They are God into this level and perceivable. The angelic realm predated the human realm by millennia. It's unfathomably more ancient than our latter-day experiment. And spiritual teachers call this level a latter-day experiment, this human realm. I mean, you can feel it. It's a little rough around the edges, n'est-ce pas? Right? So the angelic realm, far more ancient, far more numerous, many, many, many more angels and archangels than humans. Angels are essence, my loves. They are formless but knowable. People say to me, well, I don't see, I don't see angels. And I think what they're saying is like, I don't see fat flying babies or hot men in dresses. See, angels don't have form. They may present to us with form so that we feel more intimately connected, but we sense them with our spiritual senses. So we're going to talk more about that in a moment. But first, let's look at why angels. So angels, they are a belief that transcends everything else that divides us. A recent poll, 2023 poll done by the NORC and the Associated Press, very scholarly poll, show that 69% of US adults believe in angels. That's more than believe in God. That transcends socioeconomic status, gender, no gender, race, culture. In a divisive world, angels, certainly the belief in angels, unite us. And of course, angels do as well. They're through all the religions that don't agree on much else. They're mentioned 297 times in the King James Bible. They're all through Christianity, through Judaism. They're in the Kabbalah. They're in Islam, even in Buddhism, of course, in New Age spirituality. Even atheists believe in angels. So a belief that is that pervasive through all cultures, through all religions, well, it's very likely that it's true, right? And I know I'm preaching to the choir a little bit, but just think about a way to perceive God, because they are God's emissaries in this level. They're a natural boost into our own higher consciousness because they are beyond time and space. So they help us dwell in the truth of infinity, and eternity, and they tangibilize God. So you start to experience angels as clearly as you're hearing my voice. And what's most beautiful is they're a way to know your own angelic divine nature, your highest self. So these are some of the reasons of why do we work with angels. And I want to read you just a short passage from my friend Nicole, who she's in the book. Her story, all the stories in the book are true, by the way. Some of the names and circumstances are changed, but all it's many, many true stories because it just makes it more fun to read and also just gives credence. So Nicole said, and I want you guys to tell me if you relate to this. I judged my angelic aspects, so our higher aspects, through my human lens and my mortal traits through my angelic perspective. I judged my angelic self and I judged my human self. I just wanted to reside in radiance, but that's not currency here. Anybody relate? So I blocked my connection to my angelic self to survive on earth. We all did that, by the way. But now we're in a wondrous time where we don't need to do that anymore. And I said to her, that's why I wrote this book. It's why I do this work, to alleviate that suffering. And she said, thank heavens you did. Every trait of earth angels you described in the classes was like reading my own life story. Understanding my angelic nature was momentous because it allowed me to accept my human nature. Understanding my angelic nature helped me to accept my human nature. I had this life-changing realization, and I want you to take this in, guys. There's nothing wrong with earth angels like me. It's just that we're not from here. I came into immediate acceptance of and enthusiasm for my life. That's why angels and why your angelic ancestry. You are a warrior of light, Earth Archangel, and so much stronger than you think. But you also are never alone. So let's talk about great archangels. So there are septillions, the greatest number we can think of angels who are born in a collective. Angels evolved to archangels, but that was taking millions of years. Now, there are great archangels. There are only 144 great archangels. Septillions of angels, maybe trillion archangels, only 144 that I've seen of great archangels. They're rarefied. They are living embodiments of God's teaching. Some of them are familiar, but probably far loftier than you've known. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and then there are others who have been serving in relative anonymity, which I've been tapping into for many decades because I have heard their name in the angelic language, and I've been sharing them with my classes, and I share some of them in the book. So, and in the book, by the way, there's a whole chapter where the great archangels define what great archangels are. It's a very beautiful chapter. So how do we sense these monolithic beings that everybody agrees exist? But how do we know them? So first of all, be open. You don't believe me. Don't believe anybody. But be open. Go, well, if most people believe in them, if they go through all the religions that don't agree on much else, it's probably something to them. So be open, and we do want to invoke them. Now, they're always with you, but we want to call ourselves, really what we're doing is invoking ourselves into awareness of them. Now, here's the huge one. Trust your spiritual senses. You don't connect to them through your physical senses. You're not going to probably hear them like you hear my voice or see my image. You're going to see them in your inner awareness, and that can be trusted. It just takes a little practice and openness, and often a group like this where we all have the same intention. And here's a big key. Ask a question of them, whatever that might be, and we'll probably do that in a moment, and then receive your answer and then answer it out loud, because angels are messengers of God. That is actually the literal definition, but you are as well. So let's try that. Want to do a meditation to your guardian angel and the great archangels? First, you got to show me sparkly fingers, and then you got to reach up and just open and receive more light. Reach out and just stretch back and open to receive. Beautiful. Gently close your eyes and open your hearts, and let's receive the presence of a great archangel. So, just closing your eyelids, opening your heart, This will be short in the interest of time, but you'll at least touch into that presence. So one is very much present with us as we open into the light of the Holy Spirit, the light of the Christ, the light of love for the highest good, connecting to all the love in the universe. And just be aware now of this beautiful, enormous great archangel. They are far bigger than mountains, has now come close, and her name is Asyla. This is one of those angels you may not have heard of because her name comes directly from the angelic language. Asyla, Asyla. And she's laying herself out right before you in every room, even if you're listening to the recording. I want you to just be aware of, I call her. Angels don't have gender, but it helps us relate to them a little more. So what do you sense right now about Asyla, about spirit? What do you sense about her? What is her presence bringing? It could be peace, wonder, love. What do you sense? What do you hear? What inner sound do you hear? She could be talking to you. It could be a beautiful inner sound, like the most celestial music. What do you hear? And really open yourself to receive that. Breathe that beautiful sound in. It's healing. And what do you see? What vision do you see? And perhaps you're looking at her. Perhaps she shows you a vision that's meaningful for you. Don't second guess it. I want you to trust it. You can take doubt back up in a moment, but I want you to trust your attunement. What do you see? What do you feel? What is she helping you feel? Could be profound relief, might be tears of recognition, might be joy. What do you feel? Now really open yourself because she's really increasing the frequency now. It's touching each one present. And now ask her, what message do you have for me? And if you're alone, answer out loud. And if not, then perhaps write it down or just hear it within. What message do you have for me, Asyla? And really open again to receive. She extends her blessing to each of us and to our planet as she wraps around the entire planet now. May peace prevail. Really, one more time, breathe in her presence. Breathe that light of that angel has brought close all through your beingness, through your emotions, through your mind, through your heart, through your unconscious, and certainly into your soul. In every way for the highest good. And so be it. Blessed be. And amen. And so if you certainly keep traveling in your awareness, I just would love for you to just let me know, just put into the chat 1 or 2 words of what did you experience? Just a couple of words of what did you experience with Asyla? What did you experience with that angel? Just a few words. So Laura says, peace, peace. What else? Diana says, love. Diane says, deep joy, tears of joy, joy, hope, grace and comfort, gentle, courageous strength, joy, trust. I am celebrating all freedom, stillness, expansion, a peach color, calming relaxation, encouragement, wildfire of purity, peace and support, stating you are worthy, trust, nature, a warm arm around my waist, and comfort and love, gentleness, calm, peace and hands tingling, calmness, all is well. Love. Yes, kindness, peace, and love. So this helps us bridge into those experiences when we just either journal it, say it out loud, share it. So you hear the qualities of angels, those qualities. And here's the big difference with this book and other angel books is those qualities are within you. Those are right within you. And someone says pressure on my temples and ringing around my head. So look how different we all are. Look how different we all are, and yet we all had a similar, everyone experienced her. Did you notice what I mean when I say they are subtle, right? You're experiencing with your subtle senses. You don't need to, or and I wouldn't even expect some earth-shattering experience because they're essence. They're pure spirit. But we know them. And as we know these great angels, we know God, right? So because they're one with God, they're one with spirit, they're one with your spiritual path. They're not to replace anything, they're to amplify it. Okay, my loves. So let's hear, and thank you so much for sharing uh, what you what you uh, what you experience. I'm just looking at the chat, just delightful things in it. So we're going to now go to our second spiritual teacher, Andrew Harvey. Andrew Harvey is quite a spiritual master and a religious scholar, and he's coming to us straight from Kashmir, India. These videos are only about 10 minutes. And then after Andrew, we're going to talk about what is your angelic ancestry and the Aquarian age. What does it have to do with the Aquarian age? So let's go to Kashmir, India, and Andrew Harvey.
Hello, dear friends. Everything in all realms, all the gods, all the deepest mystical truths, all the divine realms are actually in us through divine grace. Because when you wake up, you discover that the consciousness that you're uncovering is not tuned with total divine consciousness. And when you begin to get this secret, you realize just how blessed you are beyond imagining, but also how much help you can draw on at all moments. Rumi is here for you. Kabir is here for you. Howdovitch's Antwerp is here for you. In you, speaking to you, their fiery truths of love and passion and divine energy dedicated to service. And so, and this is why I'm talking to you now, and so are all the angelic realms. Alisha's amazing book, Your Angelic Ancestry, lays this truth out with profound wisdom, profound eloquence, and profound practicality. And I cannot recommend it enough to you. Don't just read it, meditate on it. Take its outrageous and extremely clear message of always available help from the angelic realms to heart and start working with the practices that can help you realize that truth for yourself in the core of your life. Because if you do allow this great secret and its consequences and its possibilities to irradiate your life now, in the middle of a triple dark night, a dark night of the environment, a dark night of the soul, a dark night of democracy, you will not be apathetic, you will not be beaten down, you will not be paralyzed, you will not be hopeless, you will not be despairing. You will know that this time, while it's a time of megadeath, global destruction, is also, and this is the other amazing secret, a time of an unparalleled evolutionary birth, in which the angels are dying to be one of our midwife forces. I want to tell you a little about my own relationship with angels. I always believed in them because through grace I have been shown many mysteries. But I didn't have a direct relationship with them until about 10 years ago, when I met an amazing woman whose sincerity and authenticity so moved me that I believed her when she said that she could help me get into relationship with my own particular angel. So I went to stay with her, and we had a great deal of fun, and she helped me with a very simple practice of really invoking my angel and imagining my angel around me, in me, and I did it, and absolutely nothing happened, but I persisted. And then one night I was actually stepping into my bath in her house, and suddenly I felt my angel in me, all around me, loving me and empowering me with this clear, calm, wild, holy energy. And I've not looked back, because in times of difficulty, which have been many, because the work that I do is extremely radical, I simply sit and invoke my beloved angel, and that angel fills me with the power, the energy, and sometimes even the words that I need to be able to try and get the message that I've been entrusted with across. My message is very, very simple, and it goes like this. We are now living in the triple dark night that I've described, and humanity's existence and the existence of a great deal of the natural world is now overwhelmingly menaced. But this great global dark night and the great death that's exploding everywhere is not the end. If we know that the dark night process can end in a massive birth of a wholly new embodied divine consciousness, and if we do the gritty, difficult, extraordinary, amazing work to make that true for ourselves. What I've learned in my 10 years of working tenderly with my own tender and blazing guardian angel is three things. The first thing is that angels are far more available to us than many of the mystical systems have suggested. They've given such a grand status to angels that we tempted to believe that only the greatest mystics or prophets have any real access to them. This is horseshit. Angels are grand, amazing, diamond light rays of the great diamond of the One. But like the One itself, they are profoundly in love with us, profoundly available to us. And what they're asking from us is to turn up in the relationship. They will show themselves, they will do the rest, and they will amaze us in simple, ordinary things and in massive, extraordinary things. Don't believe me? Find out for yourself. The second thing I've understood about angels, and this is one of the themes that rings through Alisha's book, is that angels are deeply unhappy at the moment because they feel completely unemployed. There they are, here they are, longing to appear to us, longing to empower us. And because our faith in them is so limited, so often, they can't do it. And they know where we are. They know what a desperate situation we're in. They know how much they could help us become one with the One as they are one with the One. Become trusting, become empowered, become alive in the light. And we don't reach out to them. and that fills them with a profound grief, which Alisha's book, I hope, is destined to heal. The third thing I've understood is that they are especially powerful in this terrifying time. When you wake up to what is really happening, which is that the darkest powers in humanity are being unleashed in a massive orgy of cruelty, corruption, and destruction all over the world, you are tempted, and we're all tempted, to paralysis, apathy, despair. But this is the very moment where they are poised to come towards us and help us wake up to our inherent divinity, our inherent connection with all the realms and majestic powers of the one that we are one with through grace. And they will do that if only we turn to them in the marvelous ways that Alisha has made extremely clear. I've also dedicated my life to spreading the message of the hope and sacred activism, the activism that's not born just from indignation and righteous fury, but from a deep understanding of your own inherent divine nature and the inherent divine nature of everyone, and so fueled from the profoundest peace, the profoundest trust, and the profoundest passion to give everything you are to the birth of a new world. And what I've understood in these last 10 years of my relationship with my angel, and what my angel has revealed to me of the willingness of the angels on every level to pour their strength and wisdom into us, is that as we go forward as sacred activists, we will need, in a situation as terrible as the one we're in, to draw on absolutely all the gifts, all the resources, all the tools that all the mystical traditions have revealed to us, because this is our most difficult evolutionary threshold, and it's not certain we're ready to cross it, and it's not certain that we will cross it. So we have ourselves to take the responsibility to open up as clearly, as calmly, as humbly, and as practically as possible to all of the gifts and tools that are offered us to be able to be as strong, as passionate, as loving, as trusting, as filled with sacred energy as we must be if we're going to come together in a peaceful, birthing army of the new. And in this birthing army, who do we need more than the messengers of God, the rays of light that come from the diamond of the One, to fill us with the One's energy in our own being, to give us the courage, the chutzpah, the radiance of love to be able to go forward. So, all you sacred activists listening, get with your guardian angel and feel how much she or he or whatever you call her will give you to go forward. This is my living day by day experience. And I hope that through Alisha's great book, Your Angelic Ancestry, it will become yours. So, dear friends, on this wonderful day, when this book, with its secrets that radiate from the great secret, is coming out, I just want to invite you to get into a direct relationship with your angel and the angelic realm, and realize just how much help, how much joy, how much truth, how much strength is available to you if only you reach your arms out to it. God bless you, and God make you a warrior midwife of a new humanity.
Oh my goodness, wasn't that beautiful? Andrew Harvey, spiritual warrior. Make you a warrior midwife. I dubbed the warrior midwives. He dubbed you warrior midwives. Thank you so much, Andrew Harvey. Such a living legend. And straight from Kashmir, India, where I've been. So, my beloveds, we have such a great treat. We have a special guest, one of my best friends, my dear sister, Dame Marie Diamond. She is the internationally recognized as the number one feng shui master in the universe. She has created miracles, so many that I have seen. Best-selling author. Welcome from Europe, Marie.
Hello, wonderful, and congratulations, my dear friends, in the launch of the Archangel Ancestry. And so amazing to be with you and with all of you here.
Oh, well, we are so delighted to have you with us. And for those of you, I just told the short story of how my home was saved from the fire improbably. Marie Diamond feng shuied my home and three other homes that survived. I don't think
Yes,
that's a
correct.
coincidence. Yes.
Oh, I don't think so. It was in the same area, in the Palisades, and yeah, very unique. And there was two homes actually that every home in that street was burned down except the homes that were feng shuied. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is a woman to listen to and cherish. And I'll put in the show notes all of her links. So Marie, you have great stories about angels. I would love for you to share a few of those stories.
Yeah, sure. I shared with you earlier this week, personally, was one of my favorite stories of Archangel Michael because, we sometimes see angels so serious as serious beings. Well, they have a form of humor. And so that's kind of what I love about them. And so I was 19, I was traveling with a bus of young people to different places in the south of France. And one day, we visited a town that was like on top of a rock, and the bus was parked downstairs in the valley, and we had to be back by 5 o'clock. And I was like, wandering around in this beautiful old town. It was like 13th, 14th century. And I got lost and I did not know how to get back to the valley. I spoke French a little bit at that time already, but still, there was like, it was I didn't see a lot of people in the streets where I was. So I was just calling in Archangel Michael, like, Michael, I need protection. I need to be back by 5 o'clock downstairs. And I literally, each time I came to like, if I had to go left or right, I felt like this little push, like a little flap of his wings, like, go there, go there, go there. And ultimately, I landed in the valley where I see the bus starting leaving. So they forgot about me probably, or they didn't count on me. And so I was like yelling, and I was at the same time like frozen because I was like, oh my God, I was like in total fear because I had no idea where they were driving to. I did not have the itinerary, and this is before cell phone time, right? I was 19. And so I could not reach anybody. And suddenly I saw a few people looking through the window and like pointing at me. And so ultimately the bus stopped and I hopped on the bus and I'm like, oh, thank you so much for seeing me. And they're like, well, we didn't really see you. We saw your friend. And I was like, what do you mean? So, yeah, we knew like 19 old at that time. They already knew my friends. I was like, I fell for tall blonde guys. And so I didn't marry a tall blonde guy though, but at that time I was, focusing on that. And he said, we just saw this tall guy just jumping with long blonde hair, like jumping, like waving at us. And that's what we saw. So, and he was standing, and then we saw it was you, and because he was standing behind you. And I was like, I didn't even see him, right? So I just felt his presence. And they're like the whole journey back to the next point was a big joke. Like Marie got lost because she hooked up with a tall blonde long hair guy. And it was like, and I was trying to defend myself. I'm like, I cannot say anything because they don't believe probably in archangels. So that's a very funny story that I love to share. So yeah, angels were always very connect with me, like they're all with all of us. But for me, I know you can hear the language. For me, it was always more seeing them and feeling them around me. And I come from a Catholic background, so angels were kind of, yeah, it was like part of our experience, but nobody really told us how to connect with them, right? So they were like, yeah, there's like in the Bible we talk about some angels, but nobody really told us how to do that exactly,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So that was the difference, right? That I needed to connect with on my own terms, right? That's why I'm so
Mhm.
excited about your book, and it's my only book I have with me on my holidays, that I
Oh, you brought it to
so
Europe with you.
yes, I did.
Oh,
And so to keep reading it, because I started reading it last week when you gave me a copy, and it's so amazing. And it just, when you read a book and you read a book that has truth in it, like your whole body, your whole mind, your whole heart resonates with it. And you're like you want to kind of read immediately the next thing, right? So it's
mhm.
like when you stop reading, you're like, oh, when can I read again? And like any moment you have free, you're like, oh, let me pick that up. So it's on my nightstand. So I didn't bring it upstairs where I am, but it's on my nightstand. And I feel like, first of all, I feel your love then with me, but I also
Wow.
feel the love of all the angels with me. And so yeah, it's so powerful, and it's so important in this time of age that we need all the help we can, right? Because there's so much evolution happening, so much transformation, I'm sure, in each one of you. And so you have to also know that, we need our friends, we need our communities, but we also need the community of angels around us.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And Marie has many profound stories with angels and archangels and miracles. Marie, you said something to me the other day. We always discover something new when we talk. I mean, and you said something to me that really rocked my world. You talked about Saint Francis hearing the angelic language.
Yes.
Uh, is that something you could share a little bit more with us?
Yes, so yeah, we were talking about, you were telling the story that you've been to Assisi. And so one of the things is that I share with you, I went also to Assisi for a whole journey. And one of the things is that what I heard there from the locals, that St. Francis was said that he was singing songs, yeah, and so that people didn't really know what songs he was singing. That was in a language that nobody really understood. It was not Italian, so it was not Latin, but it was another language that songs would have been sung at that time, like Gregorian songs, right? And so somebody told me there, look, it was really, I was actually visiting one of the monasteries that were connected with the San Franciscan order. They said, well, St. Francis was singing the songs in the language of the angels. And I was like, oh, and then when you and I start talking and we're like, I hear the angel's language, I was like, oh my God, this is, and that's why I think you were also very connected with Assisi when you went there. And it's also, he was very clear that in the Franciscan orders, they actually set up also their monasteries in what they call the order of 7 and 3. So 3 and 7 were like the most important numbers. Yeah, so the 3 from the Trinity and the 7, because he believed in the 7 archangels. And so, everything there in the orders, like even their beds, it's in a certain length of 7. The tiles they make is in the length of 7. I mean, it's really interesting. So he believed in that too. So I think he got a lot of that information probably from the angels.
That is so beautiful. And I had this period of time, I think I told you in my early 20s, shortly after my angelic awakening, where I was hearing the language, where I was consumed with St. Francis and I didn't know why. And I would go to the Franciscan missions, and that were the 200-year-old missions. And I would wear, robes and dress very, very, very plainly, which was kind of ironic because I came from being a model and an actress with all the glamour, and I just walked away from that. And I would kneel on these stone floors and pray in concert with St. Francis until my knees bled. It was just such a passion to connect with him. And now I know why. So thank
Yeah.
you for
So
that.
you were both listening to the same language, you're both hearing the same language. And there are not a lot of, saints in the traditional Christian world that probably were listening or hearing the language of the angels.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that. And I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're on vacation. Finally, yay.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear, is there another, you have so many great stories. Is there another story you'd like to tell or something else you'd like to share about your
Yeah,
connection with it?
yeah, of course. I want it was very interesting. At a certain moment, I received from Archangel Michael to take some of my students to sacred sites in England and in France dedicated to Saint Michael, and it was the Mont Saint-Michel in France and the island of Michael, the Mount Michael in Cornwall. And so we did that in the same trip. And we first went to Mont Saint-Michel, and then we went to England. We crossed the Channel, and I was like ready to go to the English sacred site, and I was like saying to Michael, like you haven't really given any sign. Like normally I get signs or I get an image or some message. And so we were like with the whole group, and I was sitting in a big circle on the beach, ready to go to the island with the boats, the island of Mont Saint-Michel in England. And so, and I was like, oh, please, Michael, give us a symbol. And it
Right.
was very cloudy before we started the meditation, like typical English weather, and just not raining, right? And so we were like 20 minutes in meditation, and I opened my eyes after the meditation. It was blue sky, except this huge sword that was like with clouds, and like around the sword were like all like angel wings. And I was like, and I have that picture, I still have to send it to you, but it
Yes.
was just so amazing. And I was like, there was nothing, and we were like, how can it go from like totally cloudy to just this huge sword with like all angel wings? I was like, he was like, is the sign big enough? I mean, that was kind of the energy I got from it, right? Like you wanted a sign, like that was a sign. you know
Is that a signy enough sign?
is that a signing enough sign, right? So for me that was like always like, language for me is more visual than you're very auditive and receiving all this information. And I love when you give messages from the archangels and the angels. That's always so profound. But it was just really funny. That's why I'm saying, for me, angels, they have always a sense of humor with me. So yeah,
Yeah.
like
I,
a little bit of a slap, to be honest. Hey, see, really? Is that big enough?
I'm shoving you with my wing. Fine.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit getting slapped always from that, right?
Okay, I have to tell you, I have a similar experience with Archangel Michael. True story. Yes, no, true story, because he's the spiritual warrior angel and the angel in
Yeah.
charge of carrying out God's will. So it's like, incredibly loving, but very much like, boom, here's the truth. Go do it. Go live it. No whining. And it's
No
actually,
whining.
but
Yeah.
no whining, but it's like it comes on such a carrier wave of love with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is loving, but
Yeah.
it's like it's taking care, it's protecting. I mean, I'm telling you, from my first that first story, if he would not have intervened, I would have been lost literally with probably very little money at that time because I was a student.
Mhm.
Did not know what to do, spoke, I speak now fluently French, but not at that time.
Yeah.
And so, but he was like, definitely like, I'm here to protect you. So always eternally grateful. And that's why I'm such in awe for this book. And Totally supporting my dear friend and sister of light, Alisha.
Mhm.
So don't only buy it once. Yeah, buy at least a second copy. Yeah, because I've already started giving it to others, pre-ordered some others for other people. Just, if there is somebody in your neighborhood that has a gift, or there's a wedding, or there is a birth, or there is just a friend in need right now, you know, just this can make a huge difference for them in their life. Yeah. So just don't buy one book, buy 2 books. Yeah. And give the second book to a friend, and buy 5 books and give it to 4 friends. So whatever it is, this is a book that needs to be shared, that needs to be spread amongst all of us, because there are not a lot of good angel books out there. And this is an amazing angel book.
Thank you so much, my sister. Thank
Okay,
you. Thank
sweetheart.
you. I love
Going back to
you.
my holidays. Bye.
Okay.
Love
Bye
you.
bye. Love you. Ah, was that not the sweetest ever? That's Marie Diamond. She was in The Secret, and millions of students, and quite a profound teacher and friend. So, my loves, let's talk. We're going to talk about the angelic language in a moment, but first, I have to give you a little esoteric. I'll make it fun. Experience of the cosmology. Talk about the cosmology. So, we really explain what is your angelic ancestry. What the heck am I talking about? So, and I love all in the chat seeing little miracle stories. And yes, I think we love hearing these stories because it just brings the mystical and God closer to us, which is angel's job, frankly. So we're going to bring up a few beautiful slides, and apologies to the infinite intricacy of existence, but I'm going to greatly oversimplify it just to explain what I mean by your angelic ancestry. So, in the beginning, not that this is ambitious, in the beginning was, of course, God, always, always in eternity. And at some point, probably millions of years ago, God spoke, breathed out, and the beautiful angelic realm was born. The first inhabitants, and these were fairly individuated, very godly beings, were great archangels. And these beings, as mentioned, there's only 144 of them. And they were the first angelic beings, but they're barely individuated. They're really God, just about God, with a tiny bit of being or individuation. And they are repositories of God's learning in certain areas. And this apparently was going so well that a long time later, God begat through the great archangels, much, much lower, much more dense, much more profuse. And a long time later, angels, through those archangels came angels. And there's zillions of angels, right? And then again, a long time later came the human realm. Now, to explain how you have an angelic ancestry, of course, you realize that angelic predated the human by millennia, then the human realm at some point was born. That was the next iteration from God's creation. Now, humans evolve oppositely than angels do. So our angels are born in God consciousness. Angels always remember God with every breath. They have that convenient archangel above them disseminating the will of God to them. So they never have to wonder, well, is this the highest good? Is that the highest good? What should I do, right? Don't we all want a little convenient archangel right above us? I know this level can be challenging to discern the highest directive. Angels are born in God consciousness. They're born one with God's will. They have no free choice. Angels. Now, archangels do. We're going to talk about them in a moment. Angels are born in collective consciousness. So we are mostly born as angels first, then we evolve to archangels. They're born in a collective consciousness. We're all one. Angels are born to where humans evolve. Humans, let's talk about the human now. Humans evolve to where angels are born. Humans are born unaware of God. Once the veil drops at around age 7, we don't walk around experiencing and remembering God with every breath. I do not. I don't know about y'all, but if we don't walk around experiencing God, knowing God, remembering God with each breath, why not take this shortcut to higher consciousness from those who do? Humans are born with free will. We see free choice. If we want to lop our baby sister on the head, we can do it, by golly. And I have an older sister and brother, and I can attest to this. So we have free will. We have individuation. We have individual souls. We're not conscious of the collective. We're all one until we evolve. So angels and humans evolve oppositely. So you have God, right? Humans are born to where angels evolve. Humans are born in individuation, the co-creatorship and free choice. Angels are born to where humans evolve, right? Angels are born in this God consciousness, surrendered free choice, and collective consciousness. We evolve to that. Humans are born with co-creatorship with God, individuation, and free choice. So we evolve, as we evolve through usually many lifetimes, we evolve to the God consciousness, surrendered free choice, and collective consciousness of an angel. Angels evolve when they're an archangel to individual souls, co-creatorship with God, and free choice. So, and we go to the next slide, you'll see how it benefits us to recall our angelic ancestry. So as an angel evolves to an archangel, which by the way takes millions of years. It is much easier in the heavens. You could think of the angelic realm as heavens, you know, but it takes a lot longer to grow precisely because it is much easier. As an angel evolves to an archangel, that's when they get individual souls and free will. And many of us, in a radical act, evolved to archangels and then incarnated here on the human realm to learn more about free choice, right? We're like, oh yeah, that'll be easy. And then we get here and we're like, can I have my pastel robes and go back and praise God, whom I never forgot again? So that we didn't try to do that, a big veil was dropped so that we forgot our angelic, it's our archangelic ancestry for a long time. And the reason that we did is so that we would engage in this level, right? But now we're in a wondrous time where the portal is open between the earth and the angels, but it's been subconscious for a while, and that's why earth can feel so hard, and we kind of feel like we're in a stranger in a strange land, and we have to deal with time and space. An advantage of connecting with angels, and especially archangels, that they live in beyond time and space, right? So earth, we have to deal with these body things that age and die. It's just harder. So but now we can be aware of our angelic ancestry and bring it conscious. And when you bring it conscious, like you heard with Nicole, you actually start to love your human life even more. And something even more remarkable about this time, which is possibly why it took me 30 years to write the book, because a portal is now open. The two worlds are merging. And I tell the story in the book of how I confirmed that with my spiritual teacher, that the human and the angelic realms are merging, not to create some sort of kind of weird flesh and winged being, but to expedite our consciousness of God, which ultimately expedites God's consciousness. And as your archangelic ancestry is revealed, you start becoming more open to it. You, my loves, become a bridge between the two worlds, receiving the blessings of both right in your human life. And I have all kinds of stories in the book of people experiencing just that. So, and let's talk about why now? Why at this time? I mean, we can feel the intensity on anybody, sparkly fingers, the intensity on the planet. Oh my goodness. A lot of darkness on the planet, but there's more light than ever before. You saw videos from Sonia Choquette, Andrew Harvey, and Marie Diamond. They have been teaching millions of students for, let's see, Sonia, 50 years, Marie, 30 years, Andrew Harvey, 50 years. And they're all saying, when I've had private talks with them, it's much easier now because people are ready. You're evolved to this place where you can receive these esoteric truths. So why now? Because we're in the Aquarian age. And the Aquarian age, the sign of the Aquarian age is angels. The Aquarian age is about the we, about we are one, what's good for the we. The Piscean age, which we just are coming out of or came out of, depending on which astrologer you consult. The Piscean age was about the me, what's good for me. The Aquarian age is, we're in this together. Can we stop fighting about God? Can we come together? We're all one. So angels, remember, are born in the collective. They very naturally relate to that we're all one. So there are metaphysical, astrological, incredible astrological confluences and karmic confluences that all make this merging between the realms, the angelic and the human realm, right within you, human archangel, not only possible, but inevitable. And we need you. We need you. We need y'all to come forward into your magnificent archangelic presence and help turn the tide of our planet to light at this pivotal time. Pivotal time. So that's what we take the slide down just for a moment. And actually, Jeffrey, as a heads up, since we just heard from Marie, then we'll go back to the angelic language in just a moment. But you see, that's what I mean by angelic ancestry. It's really, this book was called Your Archangelic Ancestry, but nobody could say archangelic, including Reed Tracy, the CEO of Hay House. So I went, okay, we got to make it easy for people to say. So, if you haven't bought the book, please do. As you probably know, when you're traditionally published, very little profit. This is really my act of love. So there is a VIP hour after this. There's no charge for it. Just buy the book as long as you buy the book on the call or you have bought the book. And if you have bought the book or you buy the book on the call, the link is in the chat. Make sure you go onto AlishaDoss.com. The link is right there. So you go there, you click on wherever you like to buy books, Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever. Click on where you like to buy books, buy a book, and then just return back to my site or stay on the site and just put in your name and your email. I already have your email anyway. That's how you're here. So no loss for that. And then you'll also get, if you do that, that's the only way we know how to send you the VIP link. So that's right after when we close at 12. I'm going to then do readings with folks, answer your questions in a much more intimate room. So all you have to do is go buy the book. If you buy 4 books, I'm going to be doing live classes through the summer with you too. So would you like to hear a little bit more about the angelic language and how your name comes from that? And I'm going to put you on gallery. Show me sparkly fingers. Reach up. Okay, I want you to just clear your auras. Yes, you can. It's easy. So I want you to just comb your aura and just fling out what you no longer need. It's not from this gathering. This is a gathering of light. But as we walk around, we can kind of pick up stuff, energy, group energy, especially with what's going on right now on our planet. So just take it, just comb your aura. Don't forget the back. You do it with your awareness. And just fling out what you no longer need, okay? Just deep breath, breathe in light like a big waterfall of light. Exhale and let it all go. All right, love. So Marie told us about St. Francis hearing the language of the angels. There is an angelic language, and it's as close as we can hear with human ears. And I didn't come up with this. As you heard, St. Francis, Joan of Arc said, I die for speaking the language of the angels. Emerson said the angels are so enamored of the language spoken in heaven that they will not distort their lips with the hissing and unmusical dialects of men, but speak their own, whether there be any who understand it or not. We can understand it. You're going to hear a few syllables of the angelic language when you hear your name, which you'll learn how to do in the book. So that is where this whole book came from, is the angelic language. What I would do is I would and I've been doing this for 30 years. So I'm like, oh, great, I'll just go to former classes and stuff. And I had so much material. I went, okay, y'all just write the book. I'll be your scribe. And so I would get down on my knees on my balcony. I had to write the book outside. Angels are very connected to nature. So we earth angels need nature, the natural world. It could just be a house plant, but we need connection to nature. So I wrote almost the entire book outside. I would get down on my knees on the balcony and raise my arms up and just give it to the angels. And then I would bring forward angelic message from the angelic language. I would start hearing the language, and then they would start disseminating to me the material in the book. And some of it is directly in the book. You're about to get the book any day now. It's coming. You'll get it in your mailbox on Tuesday. There's also an audio book that was really incredible. So in the book, there are places that are angel messages. And that's what the angels directly gave me. But angels speak in very It's a little formal, it's incredibly eloquent, and it's deeply profound. So that would be, it would be a little hard to read a whole book of that. So there's angel messages all through. But then they also gave me all the information, like I just told you about your angelic ancestry. So that's in the book in a very accessible way, and then lots of true stories. So this book came from the language of the angels. Your name comes from the language of the angels. So to understand that a little more, let's bring up our slide back to oversimplifying the cosmos. Let me tell you a little bit about your angelic name. Then we are going to, we'll have a meditation to experience your angelic ancestry a little more after we hear from Robert Holden, which many of you know, profound teacher. So humans incarnate once. The incarnation, what that is so incarnation is God created, right? And then created us souls to know its creation. So we humans enter the incarnation pattern once, meaning we go, okay, I will enter into a body. No, I'll leave the allness of God and enter into a body, into individuation. That'll be easy. And then we get here and we're like, this is not so easy. Little help here. And that's when God was like, dude, you got a million angels around you. Like Archangel, stop. Archangel Michael, stop whining. Right? But it's not easy. It's literally the first, I'm going to cheat. Spoiler alert. We're going to read the first sentence of my book. The prologue. The first is the prologue from Archangel Michael, which I read you. First sentence of the book. Being human is not easy. That's why even the angels bend a knee to you. It's not, but we're aimed to make it a lot easier through a legion of angels helping us. So humans incarnate once. We enter the incarnation pattern once. We embody many times, meaning we are born into Barcelona and our name is Juan Rodriguez. And we have a great life until, oops, we slip on a taco. Forgive me if tacos aren't in Barcelona. And we wake up and now we're Ming Chow Pei in Singapore. And life is great until we slip on a rice patty and then we wake up as Susie Smith in Des Moines, Iowa, right? And so we have several different bodies, several different names. Our human name is usually given to us by our parents. Our angelic name is given to us by God. Angels are the opposite of humans with their incarnation pattern. Angels reincarnate many times. They enter the incarnation pattern with each lifetime. They embody only once. They have one body and one name, the angelic name. So I saw angelic death and also in the book right after my mother died. And the white hearse was pulling away with her body. And the angel said, do you want to see what angelic death is like? And they said, as a carrot, we'll let you follow your mother in spirit to connect with her one more time and to see what that's like. And so, of course, I did. And my sobs turned to ecstasy as I saw that when an angel dies, they scatter their body in silver and white light through the heavens and then there it stays with God until they live again. And then that same body is reconfigured from their body blueprint with the same name, and they live again. And so we can, because we're in this incredible time where the portal is wide open, we can recall our angelic name, which to do so, it's a few syllables of the angelic language. Pretty please do me a favor. Do not skip ahead to your angelic name. You can look and go, oh, the angelic name is chapter 6. No bueno. Read every chapter. It's just 6 chapters. As you heard from Marie, it's a very readable book because I want you to hear your name accurately. You need that basis, okay? So chapter 6 is where you get your name. And I strongly recommend all of the meditations are in the are written in the book, but I recorded them all for you. So, because, I'm sure my publisher's like, wait, everybody would have had to go buy an audiobook too. I'm like, yeah, well, I hope they do buy the audiobook, but I don't want them to have to. So I recorded all the meditations for you. So you'll just scan this QR code where the meditations are, and you'll hear the recording of the meditations. And I strongly recommend, not all of them do need to do that, but definitely for your angel name. Don't just read the meditation. You have to completely surrender. So go and listen to the recorded meditations. There's a portal on my website and on Hay House's website where all the meditations are and all the angel activities. And also, something I've never done before. I can't believe they let me do it. There's a chart in here, not only of angels that you'll know with like what color do they come in and what's their intention, but new angels like Mirael, the Archangel of Light, etc. So that is all in the book and also in your portal. So that is how you will hear your angelic name. And what I did is I refined and refined and refined that meditation and set it out to people. And I'm like, can you get your name? Yeah, but refine this. And I did it over and over and over until I heard consistently that people could get their name from a meditation. So that is how you will be getting your name. I'm very excited for you for that. And then you'll use your name to know more about your higher purpose. No, not just for this lifetime, but for all of them. So I know it's a lot in one book, but it did take me 30 years to write it, so it does have a lot in it. All right, my loves. So now we are going to go here. We're going to hear from Robert Holden, a very profound being. And then we are going to do a meditation to your angelic ancestry and end with a blessing. And then do go buy the book if you haven't yet, and do fill out the form so we can send you the link for the VIP room, which will open about 15 minutes after we close here. So Robert Holden is one of the most angelic humans you'll ever want to meet. If those of you who know him, he's very profound. He's been on Oprah several times, written tons of books, very well-respected teacher. But he's also incredibly angelic. And he's a dear friend of mine for decades now. So we're going to hear from Dr. Robert Holden. Robert Holden, PhD, is the New York Times bestselling author of Higher Purpose, Lovability, and Life Loves You, and several other books that you should read, and has been featured on Oprah, Good Morning America, and in 2 major BBC documentaries. Oh my goodness, this is my first book, my first conversation about my book, my first launch. How perfect it is with you, my spiritual brother.
It's a celebration, Alisha, and I'm very honored that you've asked me to be here with you. And I think your book is, when I was reading it, I felt like it has such a great presence. It almost has the presence of an angel. And I get the feeling that it's going to just land on the laps of everybody who most needs to read this book. It's very purposeful. And I'm excited that it's about to get wings and fly out into the world. Well done. It strikes me, one of the messages of your beautiful book is that actually what we most need is already with us all the time, including the help and the support of our angels. So I was just curious, what are we really doing when we invoke?
I love that question. Thank you. In my experience, of course, as you're keenly aware, angels are always with you. And we've all had that experience of a guardian angel yanking us out of the way when we're blithely stepping into the street. I like to say my guardian angel is probably, has huge bags under her eyes. And it's like, I need a double shot of ambrosia after this shift. So we all have those experiences. Great archangels, even higher than the archangels, are always stepping in on a global level. But when we invoke them, it's not so much that we're calling them in, we're more calling ourselves forward into the awareness of them. Wow. And when we do so, we are doing 2 things. We are really preparing. It's like when we have a guest come and we're preparing a beautiful table and we bring out our china and our flowers like those behind you, and we're preparing the place. So when we invoke the angels, we're preparing our place to receive of their assistance. We're not preparing our soul. Our soul is the place. We're preparing this part of us, our lower nature, our conscious awareness, to be open to receive. The difference between Jesus and other purveyors of the Christ, was that he was a perfect receiver.
Wow. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I love your explanation. And I think it's so helpful as well that it feels even more comforting to know that, that angelic support is already with us. And it's more like we're not doing anything extra special here. We're just making ourselves receptive and
Exactly.
open and available. To me, that is a game changer right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sort of thing that you're doing in the book. You're giving us these insights where we're not like calling in the angels like a DHL delivery service from some far off place,
No,
where like we have to shout extra loud, or it's not like that. This is an intimate event, and they're already here. It's more a question of where are we, and we're coming back into alignment with ourselves so we can be more in alignment with the angels.
And it's also the second reason that we invoke, if we do, is because angels never inflict upon our free will. Yes, they'll step in if it's a life and death situation, but also then we must invite them in if we are to step up into our higher consciousness and again, really be open to receive. And we are saying, I surrender to spirit. We're not surrendering to the archangels. We're surrendering to God. Lift me up into my angelic nature. And so when we invite that in, we are saying we're aligning our human free choice with angelic, perfect, divine remembrance.
Beautiful. So we have to give the permission then.
Yes, we have to surrender and give that permission for them to really come in and change us and bring legions of angels in and go, okay, you want to be of service, you want to be a conduit of divine intent, that has to be your choice. And now that you've called us in.
So my permission gate has to be really wide, because I could still give permission and say, well, but I want to be helped this way, and I want that outcome, as opposed to I'm just throwing my arms wide open, and this is a full permission, i.e. the help can come to me in whatever way, whatever form, and the highest outcome. There's an extra level of permission in this, which is what I'm receiving from your teaching and from your book. Is this is us being so humble that we learn to accept the love and the guidance in, Louise Hay would have said, in delightful and surprising ways.
And there's a humility as well as a not thinking that spirit is limited by our limitations, because it's also angels will call you up into your loftiest purpose where you're like, I can't do that. I did this and that, and I messed up in this way. And angels are like, I don't care, because God is not limited by your limitations. So it's both the humility and it's rising up and going, I don't know, I'm willing, and allowing yourself to live a bigger life if that's what's being called for you. Do you know, Robert, the very first line of my book is being human is not easy. That's why even the angels bend a knee to you.
Wow. There you are. There you are. Wow.
Yeah. And the thing that keeps me going is so many people through the decades that I've worked with really struggling with life, really struggling with this human thing. Why am I not as excited about this human thing like everybody else is? And why is life so hard? And you see, a portal has been opened and there's all kinds of astrological and karmic and dharmic and metaphysical reasons for it, and synchronicities. For example, we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Well, the sign of Aquarius is angels. And that's what remembering our archangelic heritage lineage can bring to us. It's not about going back. It's about bringing it all present.
Yeah, for sure. Did you experience angels when you were young? Like as a
Yes,
yeah.
I did. The first conscious awareness was when I was 4 years old, 3 to 4. And what I remember of that event is these monolithic beings made of light, silver white light, standing around me, speaking to me in their language.
Yeah.
And I opened up to that language that I heard later in life when I could really understand what it was. And I'd found my spiritual teacher. And then I started hearing the angelic language in earnest. But I had been communing with them since that age.
Yeah.
In rural Indiana, I had to hide. I started telling people things about them I couldn't know, and
Yeah.
it's not the
Yeah.
and so I had to shut that down. But
Mhm.
then once I left home, I opened up to it again, and I've never looked back.
Yeah, that's so amazing.
The thing is, we are earthly archangels, and the heavenly angels are birthing it from within us.
Mm.
From within us.
Yeah.
Are they coming down? We think of up and down because we relate to space, right?
Yeah.
To matter. There is no up and down. There is angels
I
dwell
love
in
that.
eternity.
Beautiful.
They dwell in any.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they dwell in infinity. So that's part of the value of connecting to them is they don't dwell in time and space. They can serve within it, but they don't exist in time and space. So if we
Yeah.
want to experience eternity and infinity, that's
Yeah.
another value of connecting to the great archangels, which
Love
are,
that.
I like to call them shortcuts to God consciousness.
This is another one of your great insights. I'd like for nothing better for us to do away with this higher and lower business, because it's a real nuisance. It gets in the way. It creates separation,
Well,
yeah.
100%, and it causes unnecessary suffering and separation, as you say. You can
No.
have this silent one or unnameable one, which are the angels that hold creation in. It's like if God said, "Let there be light," not
Yeah.
if, when God said, "Let there be light." And the silent ones, then that first extrusion from God, chant
Mhm.
light, light, light. So they're a
Mhm.
living bridge from essence, from spirit to
Yeah.
creation, or from
Wow.
the unmanifest into the manifest. So if we would experience the truth of who we are as essence, as spirit, as beyond time and space, as beyond separation, we can stair step ourselves through them, really them lifting us up into that essence. Then we keep going. Then there's not angel, human, Christ, Buddha, Zoroaster. There's just love.
Yeah.
But the angels are a hand up, and if we can get that hand up, why not?
That, I think my personal breakthrough with that angelic realm really came when I had the really felt sense that we're all made of the same stuff. There isn't like angel stuff and then human stuff. It's like we're all made of the same stuff. So if we're made of the same stuff, that feels good. It's the same light. So if we're all made of the same stuff, then that, I don't know, that helped me relax into realizing then, okay, this, back to the point around the invocation, then my work has to be about learning to just simply to receive. These are really disconcerting, unnerving, difficult times. I don't find they get any easier for me, by the way, when they come around. And, I'm feeling that way at the moment in my life. I'm just I can feel like crossing that threshold, but I can really, really feel the sort of the feeling of the angels rushing in at the moment. They are offering comfort to us in our most uncomfortable times. And I think life is uncomfortable on the planet right now, for all of us. And somewhere in there, if we can endure this discomfort, it's got to be for a good reason, hasn't it? I think it's got to be that out of this discomfort will come something wonderful. But knowing we have the comforter, as you said, name for the Holy Spirit, and the comfort of our angels taking us through the discomfort, that's amazing. What are you most excited about with having your book come out?
I'm really excited about being in that spaciousness where there is no you, there is no me, there's no angels, there's no humans. There is just that shared awareness and willingness to know that we are all love.
Mm.
And any small part I can play in that. That's why I believe I'm alive. And this is the book I didn't write the book I wanted to write.
Mm.
I wrote the book I was born to write.
Mm.
I wanted to write a much safer book. I wanted to write an angelic compendium. But this is the book that, if it saves one life, if it lifts one person, and if it brings onto the planet what Spirit was calling me to,
Mm.
and there's nothing more. Well, that's what I live for. And there's excitement is not even the word for it. It would be spiritual fulfillment. Okay, my angels, we are heading into the home stretch. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to next do a brief meditation to your angelic ancestry and receive a blessing from the angels. And these blessings are so cool because these blessings that we're about to receive in like 3 minutes, it is informed by who shows up. Those who've been with me for a bit know that the blessings, the meditations are always different depending on who shows up. So this is very personal for you guys. So make sure you stay on for that blessing. We're going to share screen for a second. Several of you have had the question about how do I get the VIP link? I bought the book. How do I get the link? So here is, you go to aliciadoss.com /book, or just aliciadoss.com. When you click on order the book, it'll take you to order wherever you like, whatever is your favorite place to order it. And then order either one book or however many you want, of course. If you order 4 books, you will get 3 live classes with me where I'll take you through the book more this summer. So that would be the big advantage of 4 books. Now, here's what you got to do to get the VIP link, not because I say so, but we have to have a way to send it to you. So you go back here, order the book, and then come back here to my site. When you go click on order the book, you'll go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever you like to order books. And then you'll come back here and just put in your name, your first and last name, your email. I know we have it, but just to put it in real quick. Number of books purchased. That only is important if it's 1 or 4. If it's more, hallelujah, and thank you so much. And then you just put in your receipt number. Because we're going to do the VIP hour now, in 15 minutes, on Amazon, your receipt number is pretty obvious. Most places it's pretty obvious. You just copy and paste it and throw your receipt number in there. Click this permission thing and submit receipt. And that will give us your email to know it's on the invoice, Laura is saying. So it's on the invoice, which you'll get after you buy the book. And then we will send out an email. I believe it's right away. Gina can correct me if it's not, and that you'll get the VIP link. And those of you who bought the book before and had already filled out the form, you have that email in your inbox already with the VIP link. If you buy it now, you're going to get the VIP link almost instantly. And so once you enter your details, you'll see a web page with the link to the VIP, even easier. So once you enter your details in step 1 or 2 and submit your receipt, correct me if I'm wrong, Gina, but I think that they'll get the link right away. And we'll also send out an email that will arrive in your inbox before the VIP class, VIP gathering, which is at 12:15. All right, my loves. So I hope that makes sense. Any questions, just put them in the chat and Gina will answer them. And then just wanted to share a launch party that is free. This is really the launch event. Then we have a party. So that is all on my website. And Jeffrey, if you could share screen again, aliciadoss.com. It's on the homepage. It's also aliciadoss.com /events. So join me for the book launch party. It is online. And if you're anywhere near LA, come in person. It's at a gorgeous historic mansion, and I have 2026 Grammy nominated poets going to read his incredible poem. And then I have several professional musicians, including the flutist who was a flutist for Doreen Virtue, and he's won 2 Native American Grammys. So there's going to be original music done by Everett Ozen, he's the award winner. Liz Naomi, Joshua Hayes, my son, who shared the stage with rock stars. Jamie King, and Pammy Hilton. Yes, Paris's adopted little sister. But their songs are incredible. It's like they were born to sing together. So do come to the launch party. And of course, I'll do more reading from the book signings. You get a second book free if you come. And it's me. We're going to dance. So we're going to end with some dancing. I used to lead a class called Soul Dance. Long time ago, as a DJ, I know how to pack a dance floor, my dears. So come to that. It's going to be so fun. And then also at aliciadoss.com/events, there's Agape. A lot of you know for the Agape International Church. I'll be doing a book signing there. I'm doing a book signing in Palm Springs. And that is all on aliciadoss.com/events. Plus, and we'll share the screen one more time, I have for the first time ever, I am doing a membership, Wings membership, where I'll take you through the book, and that'll be very reasonably priced. And then I'm doing a coaching group. So can we keep scrolling, Jeffrey, and see if we can find Transcend? There's Transcend. So right now I'm just taking a wait list, but I'll start probably in a month or two. And with Transcend, so I'm a consciousness nerd. I have a doctorate in spiritual science. I have a lot of degrees in psychology and life coaching. I mean, I'm always studying different modalities. So we will put all those together in a group where I'll support you in an intimate group, do personal readings, past lives, chakras, obviously, angels, etc. So it'll be a very intimate group where we will really work on what is holding you back from fulfilling your spiritual calling, from fulfilling a life beyond your wildest dreams. So, and it's going to be tremendous support in that. In both of them, there'll be courses, a lot more coursework will be given for those in Transcend than Wings, but Wings is going to have coursework as well. So just join the wait list on both of those so I can let you know about them when we are ready. All right, my beloveds. Thanks for that. Again, go buy the books. You can join us in 12 minutes for our VIP hour, where I'll be doing some readings and answering questions and all that. Going to be super fun. So let us see what great archangel you have called forward to bring a blessing and connect you more to your angelic ancestry. So after this, we will be ending this main event. And again, you have all my thanks for being here and the angels' thanks. And then we'll have a quick break and then we'll start our VIP hour. So let's just open to receive. Again, opening your arms wide. I want you to acknowledge yourself for showing up on a Saturday. I think in some places it could be Sunday. And just really open and receive that acknowledgement from yourself, from spirit, and open into the light of the Holy Spirit, the light of the Christ of grace of the universe. And we just place this blessing into God's light as well, this meditation. So you may hear the most joyous laughter and a boisterous noise. Did you know angels can be rowdy? Because they can. And right now there is singing in the heavens for you because we have opened the portal wider with this gathering and you are part of that. So I want you to just connect because your angelic ancestry is being held open for you. Be aware of the light that you are created from. Be aware of your wings starting to spread out. They've been clipped and held back for a while. Just feel them on your back starting to spread out. Maybe you stretch a little and just allow yourself to expand for perhaps the first time in a while, if not millennia. And just be aware of your angelic. You may hear a wishing of wings, a whirring noise. The ocean of love and mercy gently lapping upon the shore. Be aware of what you hear and what you see as you open to the great angels. And there is a beautiful angel present called Mirael. Mirael is the archangel of light. And if you would experience God's light, the holy light, the light of spirit, connect now to Mirael and be aware of light filling every part of your beingness. And if there's a place in your body that has pain, or it might be something in your emotions or your thoughts, I want you to just put your focus there. If it's a place on your body, put your hand on that place and just see the most intense diamond white light, crushed starlight light. And just fill that place, or it could be a situation, with this diamond white light, like crushed diamonds or crushed stars, brilliant light, bringing transmutation, bringing blessings to that area. And as Mirael blesses you, she's all around you, she's within you. Because remember, angels are one with God, so this is a spiritual blessing for you. Let that place be filled with light, brilliant light, and as it starts to transmute, it gets a little bit more diffuse, more like a beautiful, a gorgeous cloud of light, a mist of light as it starts to get softer and softer as it transmutes any out of balance. And it gets softer and softer, just a sparkle on the wind of the Holy Spirit now. Barely see it, like fireflies. And even smaller now. As you breathe in, breathe that light all into that area. And as you breathe out, light just flows from your breath. As you're aware now of light streaming off your fingertips, out of your feet, through your crown chakra, as you turn more and more into light, into the Merkaba, your light body, the chariot that Elijah rode into the heavens. For truly, light is that from which you are sourced, and light is that which angels are sourced of. You are that. You are the same as that. You are human, archangel, a blessing and blessed forevermore. Amen. Thank you, my beloveds. So beautiful to be with you. I so appreciate you coming to celebrate this book that took me forever and a day to write, but it is here now. So I love you so much. Thank you for being here at this very blessed gathering. Love you, love you, love you. I hope to see you soon. I certainly hope to see you we'll start at 12:15 in the VIP room. Otherwise, I have lots of events upcoming, so I hope to see you again soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Have a very blessed day, and bye for now, my loves.